Yeah. Yeah. God be with you, good wife. Has something happened here?
There's always trouble of one kind or another, but nothing worth mentioning.
And what about that empty grave?
What empty grave would that be now?
The one beyond the village, alongside the road to Sasau. Just by the river, on the Pine Headland.
How would you know it's empty, unless it was dug up?
Oh, it's dug up, all right. Freshly. And empty. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Lord in heaven, what in the name of...
How come it's not in hallowed ground, anyway? Only unrepentant sinners are buried like that. Usually.
I don't like to say. It's an old wound that's best forgotten.
Whose grave is it?
Well, once a long time ago there was a young charcoal burner living here with his wife. There was always a lot of charcoal burners here, but this fellow worked alone. That's not an easy job for one man.
No one wanted to work with him, or what?
Oh, he was a hard-headed fellow who always wanted to take care of his family himself.
Well, only then you've no one to blame but yourself if you end up alone.
His wife was expecting, though no one knew it yet. He wasn't doing well at all. Soon enough, they had nothing to eat. And so he took to thieving.
Well, I can understand him. To watch your family suffer like that. What could he do when they were going hungry?
If we'd known how badly off they was, folk would have helped out. But he kept his troubles to himself.
And did he get caught?
Well, at first it was just a few eggs going missing from people's hen coops. But then it was anything that wasn't nailed down. And in the end, they caught him.
And I suppose he was harshly punished for it.
Even then, he didn't let on why he was doing it. They whipped the skin off his back and banished him from Leditchcott.
So justice was done then?
It wasn't enough for some folk. When the butcher found out he'd never get any compensation, he wanted them to chop off the charcoal burner's hands. If the bailiff hadn't talked sense into him, he'd have done it himself with his cleaver.
Well, he got off lightly enough then.
And in the end, he got what was coming to him, and more.
The butcher caught up with him?
No, no. It was the mills of God turning slowly but surely. His wife bled to death in childbirth, and the child died with her.
God have mercy on their souls.
Amen.
Nothing could have been done to save them.
There was no one there. He had no one who would care for his wife. They say on that day, he parted ways with God forever. And he turned his back on the village too. I reckon he never forgave himself. Nor us, either.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways. But how did he end up?
Don't ask me that, lad. I beg you.
Come now, good wife. You can't leave the story unfinished.
I said no. Will you let it lie?
God grant you.
That's stolen. What?
My humble greet.
See you later. God be with you.
The Lord. Bye.
Look, you
No luck at dice. Rabbit Good day.
I know who was buried in that grave. A young charcoal burner.
So begins the tragic tale of the young charcoal burner who became entangled with the devil himself.
Oh, don't start. What devil? I'm trying to tell you. Ugh. He was from Ledechko. He was trying to eke out a living for himself and his wife, but he couldn't manage. When she fell pregnant, he took to stealing.
Pride drove him from the straight and narrow path, and soon he sold his soul to the devil to fill his stomach.
They caught him and punished him, but some of the people he'd robbed didn't think it was enough. Then when his wife died in childbirth, and the child too, he blamed everyone for it. Even God, apparently.
But when the time came to pay his debt to hell, the devil had no use for his soul, and took his wife and child instead. The charcoal burner cursed God, who struck him down in righteous vengeance. But the dead man's soul never left his body. He came back as a revenant to vent his rage at God and men and take vengeance on the living.
Jesus, did you listen to what I said at all?
Sorry, did you say something?
Oh, never mind. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, the question is, what would the revenant do to get revenge on the villagers? Well, apprentice?
He cursed God. That's very serious.
What is it that most brings God to mind?
They don't have a church there. But everyone will have a rosary. I can't think of anything else.
That's it! If folks start losing their rosaries, they'll have sleepless nights over it.
You want me to steal rosaries? But that's...
Or just exchange them.
For what?
For nothing.
Great. He was stealing food from people, right? So, supposing he started again.
We should steal from people? Disgraceful. Have you no shame?
Maybe just a few eggs from hen coops, like the gossip mentioned.
Well, that wouldn't be too serious a sin. Will they put it down to the revenant, though?
They would, if I put some charcoal there instead.
And their nourishment he turned into ash.
The gossip mentioned the butcher. It seems he was infuriated that the charcoal burner's punishment was too lenient.
And the revenant spoiled their meat with his malign touch.
How's that?
Spoiled meat is a classic example of a revenant's power.
I thought it was the work of bad butchers.
That too, sometimes.
So, I should switch the good meat for bad at the butcher's. What about the butcher woman?
What about her?
Her conscience was troubled on account of her man and she couldn't sleep. But I helped her, so she's found some peace.
So, no problem then.
What? I'm supposed to scare the wits out of her and start all over again?
All right, if you can find some other solution, you don't have to switch the meat. But I wouldn't worry about her. But make sure it's the same kind of meat. Not even a revenant will turn a cow into a chicken.
What about his wife and child? No doubt he'd want to avenge their death.
Well, how did they die?
In childbirth.
And when his love turned to rage, the water turned to blood. Nothing too original. But it's tried and tested. If you do it at the baths, everyone will hear of it.
How am I supposed to do that? It might be a bit suspicious if I'm seen walking around with a pail of blood.
No problem. There's a certain potion that will do the trick easily. So, switch eggs for charcoal, switch the meat, color the water in the baths, and switch the rosaries. That ought to do it. I hope so. Of course, if you come up with anything else, don't let me hold you back. Talking to people might give you ideas. Traders, the bailiff.
Well, what if someone sees me in the act?
They mustn't. Otherwise, it'll end up like Sasau all over again. Don't draw attention to yourself, or they'll put two and two together.
Sure. I'll keep my head down. And how will I know if I've succeeded? I doubt it'll be announced on the market square.
I'll be the first to know. They'll come running to me for a remedy, like hens at feeding time. Off you go and raise hell.
But whatever he did, don't you think he deserves some peace?
Dear Henry, after all the poor wretch went through, I'd say he's beyond any peace.
Well, he certainly won't have any as long as I'm carrying his bones around with me.
Ah, but you know who those remains could help.
Help? Who? How?
Me, of course. And I'd pay you a nice price for a revenant's bones.
But there is no revenant.
Not yet. What do you say?
Maybe I should bury him somewhere else.
What are you saying? That would be such a waste. Anyway, if someone saw you, the whole game would be up.
Well, supposing I do it later, when the fuss has died down.
All right, if you must. But I don't know what you hope to get out of it.
At least the poor wretch will have peace at last.
Maybe. As long as you bury him in hallowed ground. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
Like in Ratai, maybe?
Well, that's probably the nearest. That gossip-mongering crone would know.
True, I could ask her.
If you must. But for heaven's sake, don't even hint to her what you're up to.
Take care.
From over here.
And you'll be able to feed the whole family with fresh bread. My humble greet.
Bread baked just
Good
this
wife.
morning. Bread!
Yes, lad. What can I do for you?
You know, I can't stop thinking about what happened to that poor wretch.
Have you no consideration for a poor old woman? I told you I don't want to
Baked
talk about
goods
it.
fresh from the oven. Come get 'em.
It might relieve you to talk to someone.
Relieve me from what?
Well, guilt.
Bread
Guilt?
baked just this morning.
Why should I
Bread.
feel guilty?
Well, clearly something weighs heavy on your soul, just like the other villagers. The older ones. And I'd say it's connected to that empty grave. Well, that wretch returns as a revenant, and no one does anything. It's not just fear, but more like everyone is expecting some punishment that was bound to come one day.
Oh, you might be right. Maybe it would give me some peace in my old age to finally tell the whole story. Several people from the village went to have it out with Lev, but he
Bread.
grabbed an axe
Fresh
and
bread.
drove them off.
Bread.
He swore if
rolls,
anyone came near
buns,
him,
and bread
He'd burned their house down. Then he buried his wife and child in the meadows beyond Ledetchko. I saw him carving 3 statues there.
Lev, you say his name was? Hmm. What kind of statues?
There's 3 roughly carved
Bread.
beams there,
Bread,
each with a
rolls
human
and
face,
pretzels.
except the smallest, which has no face at all.
For the stillborn child, I suppose. What happened then?
Nothing. He went back to his work, but never spoke to the villagers again. He'd even go all the way to Ratte for food,
With salt,
rather than
caraway
talk to anyone
seeds,
here.
garlic and more.
So he died
You'll
alone in the
find
end?
it nowhere else.
Actually, it was the villagers. It was us that killed him.
What? Just on account of his stealing?
No. Not long after, fires started springing up in the village. And when the first house burned down, the folk were very angry.
And of course suspicion fell on Lev.
Everyone was dead certain it
Flour,
was him.
eggs, salt,
They all
yeast.
remembered his
Let
words.
it bake a bit and you'll be able to
Do you
feed
know
the
how
whole
arsonists
family
are
with
punished,
fresh
lad?
bread.
No, I don't.
By burning on the pyre. But no one wanted to waste time with the law. We just went to his house at night, smashed in the door and windows, and threw lighting torches inside. And that was the end of him. But the fires didn't stop.
So he was innocent?
He was.
Well, I won't condemn you for it. It's for God to judge.
Bread.
But
Bread, rolls and pretzels.
may he forgive you for it.
Thanks, lad. I pray every day for forgiveness, and it's a weight off my shoulders to tell someone.
Take care. Good people, come up close and have a smell. Fresh bread, and pour yourself a bit of fresh milk to drink.
What are you doing here? What the hell was that? Is someone there?
Baked goods fresh from the oven. Come get 'em.
No sign of anyone. God knows what it was. Mother of...
What was that?
Chickens. That should be no problem.
I'm honoured.
I'd like to buy some livestock. Could you arrange that?
Maybe. What are you after?
Cattle, pigs, poultry, everything.
Starting a farm, are you?
Swords into ploughshares? No. It's not for me. It's for the village of Pribyslavitz.
What? For the whole village?
Aye. A few dozen people at least.
Well, no. That's no laughing matter. But it can be done, although they might not be the best animals.
What do you mean, not the best?
Well, it's like this. I've got to supply meat for the Lord's table too. And the gentry in Ledechko want the best.
So what's left for me then?
The animals might not be as good as what you'd get somewhere else. I'll sell you older beasts, ones that ain't so fat and the like. Or ones no one wants to buy, because they don't like the look of them. That's how it is. But for that, I'll give you all the better price. Have you got someone to herd the livestock there for you?
I've got a merchant to arrange it.
So we'll shake on it?
Deal.
See you later. Good luck then.
for sure.
Yeah.
Hey!
Good health?
I'd like to talk to you about that ghost.
What about it? Did you manage to get rid of him?
Yes. Well, in a way. There was no ghost. Just a guilty conscience and past wrongs. The truth and an atonement cross helped where smudging and casting spells didn't.
And what else are ghosts but the result of a guilty conscience? Don't take the dead lightly. You could have managed without the cross, though, if you'd really done as I told you.
It was no ghost.
Well, aren't you the clever one? But you're young yet. Life will teach you. Here's some herbs and a potion for your efforts.
Thanks. I just wanted to tell you what...
Don't tell me anything. Save your wisdom for yourself. Like I've said, don't take the dead lightly. Take care.
Would you... I want...
You can't.
Well...
God be with you. Good luck, then.
Good day.
What's the recipe for that potion you were talking about?
You mean for coloring the water? Oh, well...
Well?
Pay close attention now.
I'm all ears.
How love turned to bloodshed. Once there was a knight who, though upright and noble-looking, had a prickly, unapproachable appearance. He fell in love with a fragile young maid, whom he saw with her sisters in a field, all wearing bright red wimples. But he was afraid his prickly exterior would frighten her. So he asked the advice of another knight, a pious and learned crusader, who carried the name of the patron saint of his order with pride. The pious knight told him he would arrange a rendezvous with the maid. All three would drink wine together by the river, and he would help his friend to get acquainted with her. This they did. But the maid fell in love instead with the pious knight. The stern knight was enraged and challenged his rival to a duel. The two fought long and fiercely, but they were equally matched. And so, in the end, they both fell mortally wounded. anguished at the tragedy her beauty had caused. The young maid took a dagger from one of the knights and plunged it into her own heart. Their bodies lay together on the ground, and the blood flowed from them into the river, turning the waters crimson.
I thought you were going to tell me the recipe, not some fable.
It is the recipe. I mean, the recipe is concealed in the story.
What on earth for?
So I don't forget it.
All right. So what does it mean?
I can't remember.
Great. So if you don't know, who does?
You'll figure it out, my loyal apprentice. I remember there are 3 plants in the story, but that's about all. But I know it was a simple recipe. It should be enough to grind the ingredients and brew them together for one turn. So, all you have to do is work out what the ingredients are from the story.
Sure. Why make things simple if you can complicate them? What's the recipe?
Pay close.
I'm all ear.
How once there was a knight who, though upright, he fell in love with a fragile young maid. But he...
So, how am I doing so far?
Well, someone asked me how to deal with a revenant, but no one is worried enough to part with any coin. Half the village is without rosaries. Someone even wanted to buy one from me.
And did you sell it?
I don't trade in such banal goods. But I sold him a cat's paw.
I didn't know a cat's paw was good for warding off revenants.
Henry, all the goods I have are good for warding off revenants.
That's still not enough, is it?
There's still a long way to go. God be with you. Mandrake roots taken
glad...
You look a bit worried, Bailiff.
How can I not be? What with the whole village complaining about ghosts?
Ghosts?
An empty grave that they say a revenant crawled out of. They talk of nothing else.
You don't think there's any truth to it?
No, it's nothing but old wives' tales.
But how come the grave is empty?
You don't need any magic to dig up a grave. A spade will do.
But why would anyone do that? Surely no God-fearing Christian would dig up the grave of some poor soul who hasn't even got the piece of hallowed ground to rest in.
A God-fearing Christian? No.
So you suspect someone?
Could be. There's been a band of good-for-nothing itinerants hanging around recently. They weren't making any trouble, though, so I let them be. But this is going too far.
How do you know it was them?
Who else would it be?
What about the Revenant?
Oh, don't you start. That Revenant of yours is nothing but idle hands doing the devil's work. I'd send them packing myself if I had the time and the men.
Supposing I help you get rid of them.
You look like you know how to handle yourself.
You bet I can. It wouldn't be wise to fool with me.
I don't doubt it, but I don't want any bloodshed in my parish. There's enough trouble already with one long-dead corpse.
Don't worry, Master Bailiff. I'll be the very soul of discretion.
Then I'll gladly accept your help. Is there anything you need to know?
Who are these people?
Just some itinerants who'd rather roam the roads than do an honest day's work. They're not cutthroats, though, just petty thieves and beggars.
What are they doing here?
Damned if I know, or where they came from. Except for one fella who's from Ledechko. But the rest are from God knows where.
Are they armed?
As much as any thief. Who isn't these days?
Where can I find them?
Last I heard, they were a bit away from the village, across the river by the old mine.
That's all I need to know. I'll get going.
Good luck. See you later.
God's be...
I'd like...
God be...
Yeah.
What do you want, boy?
The bailiff sent me after you.
Oh, yeah? I'm shitting myself.
Well, you better take a good look at me and think again.
Oh, all right. What does the bailiff want from us?
I'm supposed to get you to leave.
What's the problem all of a sudden?
Someone hereabouts dug up a grave, and the bailiff reckons you lot are mixed up in it.
Sure, might as well blame us for everything, why not? I suppose we burned down Scallets too.
Don't play the innocent lamb with me. You know what I think?
No, I don't much care.
Well, maybe you ought to.
Oh yeah? Why?
Because otherwise you'll be accused of witchcraft. And the penalty for that is burning at the stake.
What are you talking about? That revenant in the Dechko? But I've got nothing to do with that.
Well, I believe you, but the folk round here are keen to pin the blame on someone.
But why us? We don't know anything about it.
Well, try telling them that, if you think they'll believe a band of good-for-nothings. And who do you think will take your side?
We'll be off then, right away.
Very wise.
Come on, lads. Let's leave.
Yeah. It's too deep here. Yeah. To heal, mutt. Here I am, bailiff.
So, how did it go?
I dealt with them. They won't bother you anymore.
What? I hope you didn't kill them.
Well, why would I? I just persuaded them to leave. That's what you wanted, right?
Indeed, and I'm glad you managed it. Here's your reward. You've earned it. Good luck then.
Mother of God.
Come on up and take a look. I've got everything you need. Day, night,
God's. Goodbye.
Really have some rest.
Here, take this.
The Lord be praised. I hope. Take care.
Damn.
has your manhood been whittled to the flame?
Lamb. And I'll need lots of it if I'm to switch it all. Just lamb now. This is venison. From roe deer. No wonder it's under lock and key. It's roe deer venison for sure. Someone's been poaching. I need to switch the lamb. I need to switch the lamb.
Good evening. God be with you.
was that? Hey! Has something happened? Hey, is someone there? God save.
Greeting. Could be. Sir Hanush is convening. You can. Can I suppose. For how long? Take care.
die. God bless.